Happy Halloween, witches!
Hello and welcome to another episode of Goddess Hangs.
Episode 99.
Woo! 99! That's fucking crazy.
I know. The next episode is number 100.
Very exciting.
One day
Triple
it'll be
digits.
episode 1042. It'll just
We'll be here. I don't know the math on that, but we'll be here. We'll be like 80.
I'm not even going to try the math. I don't have it in me today.
1,000 weeks from now. Or no, 900 weeks from now. Who knows where we'll be. I'm Sadie.
And I'm Juliet.
Obviously. And we created the Goddess Hangs podcast to make the world of mindset, magic, and manifestation more relatable and fun. And we have a really fun episode planned today. We're going to talk about Halloween and Samhain. What's the difference? Are they the same thing? We're going to learn lots of fun stuff about that. But before we dive in, well, first this is the final installment of our Halloween.
It's been fun.
We've had an array of guests, from unicorns to skeletons to what were the other costumes we wore?
A burger babe,
A cheetah,
a French maid,
like what was
goddess, Hera,
a zombie. Disco cowgirl.
So many special guests joined us this month.
And today we are dressed in our traditional garb.
Our
highly requested
casual Sunday outfit. Highly requested. This episode is dedicated to a special guy named Kyle. You may have stopped watching us over a year ago, but when you did watch the show, every week you commented, "I want to see you in tall witches' hats." And finally, your dream has come true.
We're both wearing our tall, pointy witches' hats.
It sounds like I'm wearing Chanel but like, you know, like when they ask, like,
Today,
so what are you wearing?
Today I'm wearing my tall, pointy witch's hat.
I'm wearing a plastic hat.
And I've also got on a very Morticia Adams-esque dress. I'm loving it.
And I have on this little cute purple webby witch dress that I absolutely had to wear bike shorts under because there was no other way to sit comfortably in this dress.
I have lots of dresses like that.
Oh, and I'm also fashioning some of our Goddess Hangs jewelry. We haven't talked about it in a minute. We have this beautiful jewelry line that we put out with our good friend Samara, who has a really amazing small business called Out Charmed Jewelry. I'm wearing the magic charm ring, and I'm wearing the BFF bracelet. It's our little best friend bracelet.
So cute.
And we're always happy to match with you. So you can check out that. We will link it below if you want to match with us. It's a really beautiful line of high quality jewelry.
I love it. I have my ring on, and I don't have the other stuff on today, but I wear my witch necklace all of the time. I love the bracelet. It's also cute. She makes so much cute stuff. So before we dive into the history of Samhain and Halloween, Juliet, what's new with you?
Well, we have to talk about the hot and sexy elephant in the room, which is we released
which is us.
We envisioned, created, produced, and released a very fun, sexy Halloween dance video that you've probably seen by now. It's on our YouTube channel. It's on our Instagram at Goddess Hangs. We collaborated with two very talented people. My good friend Essence Flory, who's just a delight and an amazing dancer and choreographer.
Yes.
I've known her since I was a teenager. I've known her a very long time. And my very talented boyfriend Victor filmed and edited this video. And oh my God, it was so fun to do.
It was so fun. I was like, I had so much ego. Like when I started learning the choreography, I was like, who do I think I am? I can't do this anymore. Which is so absurd. Like, Sadie, you go to dance class every week, multiple times. Like, you can do this. But, you know, I go to dance classes. It's so fun. I learn choreography every week. But I don't spend more than, like, one class, you know, on a piece of choreography. So it was really fun to have, like, something to, like, practice and have an end goal to. And then, like, perform. I haven't performed in, like, over a decade.
I know. It's been a long time for me, too. And dance was always like my first love. Up until I was 15, I just wanted to be a full-time dancer. Now, if you really zoom in and nitpick, I'm sure you could find 10,000 things technically incorrect with how I perform at the dance. This video is not about that. This video is not our audition to dance at the Super Bowl. Although, if you'd like us to be there, we will.
But if somebody sees it and wants us to be there, Dancing with the Stars, yes, I'll be there.
Hello.
Putting that on my vision board.
I love that. That'd be really cute. But we're like one team, so every dance is the two of us with a dancer.
With the person.
Like, I'm sorry, we cannot be separated.
Oh, no. We are one.
We are conjoined. But it was just such a fun, just self-expression, like confidence boost, like pleasureful. It was really fun. I had the best time.
And I'm just amazed at how it was edited together. Like, Essence did so amazing with the choreography and her like creative direction to say like, oh, okay, let's do it here. Okay, now you stand there, and just giving us feedback. And then Victor's a freaking filming genius. I can't believe it. I was like, oh, that's me in there? I was like, me? I didn't know I could do that.
It was so fun. And I think there's like, you know, not for any religious reason, but I've always grown up with feeling like I have to be so conservative, and I have to, and my parents didn't put that on me at all. Maybe it's some past life stuff. I have no idea. But it was like this weird push and pull of like loving when women would do stuff like that, but also feeling like I could never do it. Yeah. And so it was very like freeing and fun. And something about when I turned 30, I just sort of was like, oh, I've spent my whole life like either trying to please people or be a good girl or do things right. And it's like, I get to sort of be myself now. And I could have given myself, and I hope anybody listening who's younger than that or older or any age, like, we can give ourselves that permission at any time. And these videos that you see, like our super fun dance video, we just self-produced it. You don't need somebody to like discover you in order to make a really cool video like this. So discover yourself.
I was just thinking how cool it is to be in LA and be able to like rent a space for relatively inexpensively and you know, have connections to people that can help us with this. And I was just like, wow, like we're so lucky that we get to do that. It's so fun.
I know. And we're already like, should we make a holiday one, like a little Christmas,
1,000%
little Santa outfit situation?
Oh, I've got the bug. I want to keep making
I know,
them.
right? We do a Thanksgiving one in like sexy turkey.
Yes. Comment below if you're ready for this, the sexy turkey trot.
So that was the highlight of my week. That was so fun. I love making things. I love it. No matter what it is, I love to make things. So that was really fun. And to make it with such good friends.
It was.
And a lover. I can't even call Victor that. It feels weird. Obviously, he is mine, but that phrase. Anyways. Anywho. So that was a joy. That was just such a joy. Let us know if you enjoyed it and you want more.
Yeah.
And either way, we're going to make more.
Either way, it doesn't matter.
Fun, but let us know what you think.
And you said something about a guardian angel or something?
Okay, so a couple weeks, 3-4 weeks ago, I don't know, since we went to the Hollywood Forever Cemetery, I had said out loud, or maybe I said it in the podcast, like, I'm ready to see some things.
Oh, I'm clicking now because I said I've been seeing somebody too. Oh, this is so interesting. Okay, keep going.
So
my brain's like
2 or 3 times this week now, I am certain that I am seeing people out of the corner of my eye. Like to the point where I turn to say hi. Like I'm seeing people like getting out of their car in our parking garage. And I'm like, there's nobody. And then like it's throwing me. And I'm like, this is how it starts. Because I've never been open to seeing anything. I did see some stuff as like a 12 and 13-year-old and I shut that off.
Yeah, it's scary when you're little.
I was like, no thanks. But that's been interesting, and I feel an energy and I feel a presence around me, and just for like my own personal reasons, I've been going through I'm feeling actually a lot better today, but I was going through a really deep like mental health deep dip dive. A deep dip dive.
A deep dip dive.
A deep dish pizza of a dive of my joy. And what I do when I'm sad is I'll sit on Craigslist for a long time and I'll scroll through and see if there's any animals that need a home.
Yeah.
And none of them ever fit the bill because number one, we're not allowed animals in our apartment.
Yeah.
Number two, Victor's allergic to cats. And number three, even if I found the cutest dog that like didn't shed and whatever, like he'd still put the kibosh on it at this time. But I'm just like, well, maybe this bunny or maybe this lizard. And I'm just going through and I just need to like hold an animal.
Yeah.
And I was so just going through stuff and feeling that way. Anyways, Victor saw me in a complete puddle and he was like, let's go to Target. It closes in 45 minutes. We'll just walk around. We love Target. We'll go walk around. That was a big, sexy outing. And I said, okay.
We love Target.
Okay, I'll go. So I put on my shoes. We open the front door and we look down the hall. And you know our hallway, it's like really long.
Mm-hmm.
This little dog at the end of the hallway that I've never seen in my life comes bolting down the hallway and like jumps into his arms, into my arms, is like giving me all the kisses and love and affection. And we're like, what?
You're like, are you ours now?
I said, did I just manifest a dog? And I pick him up and he's really cute and he smells really good and he's really fluffy and he's just giving me all the kisses and I'm holding him and I'm like on the verge of tears. I was like, you don't know how much I needed you right now. Aww. And we're roaming the hallways. Every door is closed. This dog does not have a collar. We're like, whose dog do we have a dog now? And finally, after like going and asking, and we finally go around a corner deep into this weird, my building is like a maze.
Yeah.
There's a woman who has her door open and she was it's an older lady unloading her groceries and we're like, hi, is this your dog? And she was like, oh my God, like she had no idea the dog had even gotten out. But I thought that was to have been like praying for that and feeling like I just need to hold. And I had told Victor, I said, maybe on Sunday if we have time we could, I don't know, go to a barn and I could like, I don't know, pet a cow. I was like, I don't know what else to do with myself. And this dog just came bolting down the hallway and like leapt into my arms and I thought, thank you, God, angels, universe, whoever is keeping an eye on me right now. Like, I needed that more than I could have ever explained. Oh, and I was just like, you are now my baby. You belong to me. Or I guess I'll give you
like,
back.
come back and visit anytime.
Imagine if I just like brought the dog inside and didn't even try. No, I would of course want to reunite the dog with the owner, but
oh,
it was just so like this dog ran to me like it knew me. It was really sweet.
My heart's
It's very tender, very
chills.
Tenderoni and cheese.
Tenderoni and cheese for the deep dive pizza dish.
Deep dive dip pizza dip depression that I was going through. Yeah, but I'm feeling a bit better today. And I'm happy to be with you.
Me too.
Happy to be with all of our listeners.
Mm-hmm.
And what's new with you?
Okay, so let's see. I made some notes. I had so much fun doing the dance. I felt like it was very like, it was like, we talk about like inner child work. That felt kind of like inner teen work because I was taking serious dance lessons from when I was very young, but the brunt of that was like when I was a teenager. I was at the studio like 5 nights a week for hours, and so it was just like, and I loved that part. But then when I was a teenager, I just like had a lot of difficulty with anxiety and depression, everything. So it just felt very healing to just like get to like express like I once did when I was a teenager. It felt really good. I loved it. It was so fun. Okay, so I also realized that, so for a while now, I've been just like feeling this like man in a suit following me around. Not like following me, and I feel good about him, but he's not my deity that I connect to. Also kind of shows himself as a man in a suit specifically sometimes, but it wasn't him. It wasn't that energy. And this has been going on since like, I think like 2 weeks ago. I'm remembering like him being with me when I was at my friend's house for a party. So I've just been like, oh, okay, like this man in a suit is hanging out, making me feel pretty grounded and safe and peaceful. So I'm like, all right, but I'm like, who is this? And I can really like, it's not like I'm seeing him with my like eyeballs, but I feel like I can see him. Like my eyes are open and he's not physically formed, but I'm like, I can tell when he's there and I can tell when he's over there and whatever. I feel like he's right here right now. And he hangs out behind me a lot. And then in Activate Your Magic, we're doing Intuition Week, and we're talking about the spirit world and spirit teams and all of this stuff. And we're hanging out in the chat talking about our experiences. And so I'm typing out, and then I'm like, oh, it's my spirit guide, who I call Peter, who is always shows to me as a guy in a suit. And we were like working really closely together for a while, and then I haven't like been meditating and connecting to him as much. But it's just, yeah, I'm like, I was like, oh, Peter, sorry, duh, it's you. And I sort of felt that, like, I felt like a big chill and like sort of like that wash over me. And I was just like, yeah, I'm here. I'm just like keeping an eye on you, keeping you grounded. Like, don't mind me. I'm just here a little bit closer for this moment in time. So that was interesting. He's been closer to me for a couple weeks. And then, okay, so I'm remember I mentioned that I'm going to be doing my Panchakarma Ayurvedic detox. So I've started, and so Panchakarma, there's...
Are those all your notes for what's new with you?
No, that's a bunch of history stuff.
Okay.
That's a bunch of but it's already been very interesting, and I haven't done the intense part yet. So basically what happens is like you have like a week of, or like a few days of like taking these herbs after you eat, and then you have a few days of, this is where I'm at right now, I'm like gagging, you have to drink this ghee in the morning, which is butter. So I mix butter with my I'm gagging right now. The first day it tasted good because it wasn't that much, but you add a little bit more each day. And so the ghee, what it does is it pulls toxins from your body, and it also makes your insides nice and slippery because you're going to be detoxing a bunch. So every morning,
the face I make is about eating butter, not about the practice.
Yeah. And then I'm only eating lentils and rice right now, which the first day I was like, oh, this is so easy. I just drink some butter in the morning and I still get to eat, but it's like lentils and rice, and I can put it's specific herbs, but I can season it. And then now I'm on day 3 of this, and I'm just like, I almost started crying when I took my lentils out of the fridge for lunch today. I was like, I can't eat it again.
Oh,
I'm so sick of it. But I'm nowhere near done. But when this episode drops, maybe I'll be on my stories sharing some more, because I'll have gone through the intense part. The intense part is not here yet. So the next 2 days, starting at the time of recording, the next 2 days, tomorrow and the next day, I'm going into the clinic for treatments. And I'm really looking forward to this part because you get like an hour-long massage because it's working. I've been eating all this ghee, so it helps get the toxins out even more for that to run through me. And then I'm spacing on the name right now, but I do this treatment where you lay and they drip warm oil on your third eye, and it drips down your head and through your hair, and it's really good for your third eye opening and intuition and a lot of like clarity and mental things, but it's also like great for your scalp and hair, which is great. So I do that 2 days in a row, and so I'm really excited for those treatments. But then the second day I come home and I drink these herbs, and then I go to the bathroom 10 or 15 times, I'm told. And then I have to spend like 2 to 3 days eating only rice porridge, and then I can slowly add things into my diet. I need to be vegetarian for about 10 days, which is no big deal to me, but I have this like and it's just funny because when I was scheduling this, I was like, oh man, like I'm scheduling it over Halloween weekend. I'm not gonna be able to like go out and party for Halloween. Like I know that. And so I was kind of like, but he was like, you know, this is really, it's meant to be in a certain space of time in the fall. It's a fall detox. And he was like, this is really the week you should do it if you can. So I was like, all right, okay. But then to not realize that it was falling on the new moon in Scorpio solar eclipse, and I felt that really intensely. And so I'm like today I'm a lot more clear, but the first couple days of this like ghee stuff, I was like, I felt like I couldn't see. I felt confused. I felt like I couldn't talk. Like I was like, it was really pulling some stuff out of me. And then this energy of this like moon cycle, and it was a lot, but I was like, you know what? This is really fucking intense, but I'm taking care of a lot right now. Like it was very appropriately timed with the detox. So that's been interesting and intense, but I feel like I'm literally dying and I'm going to be reborn and it's going to be great.
Amazing.
Not the fun part for the death part, but the rebirth is going to be fantastic. And I'm just excited. Oh, I have a weird Craig psychic moment too. I forgot about.
Oh, okay, what is it?
Okay, so since I'm like purging all this stuff, I've been having very vivid dreams for like weeks now, and I don't know if it's because like the veil is thinning or just like calling on being more open, but I've been having trouble sleeping, and a lot of my dreams have been like, they're very vivid. I remember them, and they are like relating to, you know, real life and things that I need to work through and all that stuff. Well, I was having a very vivid dream about my ex. So it's the middle of the night. I'm having a vivid dream, and it was one of those dreams like that, like I went back in time to like when it was good, right? So I'm like in this like weird dream space where it's like a good dream, but I wake up feeling guilty. But I'm having this dream, and he wakes up in the middle of the night. He goes, "Are you mad at me?" Whoa. In the middle of this dream, in the middle of the night, he sits up in bed, and I wake up, and I'm like, no. And I was like, why would you say that? He's like, because you're really like, you're not cuddling me, like you're really like curled up in a ball. And I was like, I was having a very weird, interesting dream. And I think I was dreaming that my dreams have been bringing a lot of stuff up of like, you know, this is absolutely out of your life now, just so you know. And I was just sort of having this and he sat up in the middle of the night and woke me up at that time. It was so crazy.
Last night I dreamt that my sister was swimming in this pool of orcas, which are very dangerous animals, as beautiful as they are. And I went over and I said, "Get out of there! This is not safe." And she was like swimming with the sharks, basically. Yeah. And I was like, "No, like get, come on, it's not." She's like, "No, I'm fine. Look, they're being nice." And I was like, "They are wild and get out." And then there were like bears roaming around, just like big kind of dangerous animals. And I was like, "We gotta get out of here. Like this is not safe."
Stressful. Yeah, I think that's what's new with me. I can't wait to give you the real update when I really get into this detox, but it's already been pretty intense.
Oh my gosh. I will not be detoxing. I will be vicariously detoxing through you.
I'm excited. I've heard that people feel like, I mean, literally like they die and are reborn, but that, yeah, they feel like they're like really on a high for like a few weeks after this, and that there's different panchakarma treatments you can do, and the one I'm doing is really great for your skin because I've been having trouble with my skin again lately. So it all goes back to the gut for me, at least, and my skin. I've been breaking out a lot again.
Here's what I do for my gut, swear to God, and it cleared my acne. I eat 2 Activia yogurts a day.
Yeah, probiotics,
and it helped in other ways too.
Yeah,
I tried this medicine, this, that. And then I just coincidentally was like, "Oh, these are yummy." And then I was like, "Why is my cystic acne gone?" Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what did it for me.
It's the probiotics, the prebiotics. It changes. And I do all that stuff, but for some reason it just, because I used to have like, one time when we were working at the crystal store,
I remember
the woman that owned it, her mother said, "Do you have chicken pox?" And she meant it. She wanted to help me, but she looked at me and she said, "Do you have chicken pox?" And I was like, ma'am, I am 27 years old. I do not have chicken pox.
Ma'am, this is simply my face. Thank you.
But no, I said no. I really struggle with acne, and because it was that bad. I mean, my whole face was just, I looked like I had chicken pox all the time. And probiotics and prebiotics. And then when I started using the Magic Shea facial oil, I feel like that was a cherry on top. And I did spend about 6 months going to laser facials once a month, and I feel like that helped, like all of that sort of together. And then I still use the Magic Shea stuff. It's amazing.
This episode is brought to you by Magic Shea and Activia.
And Activia.
It isn't,
if you struggle with breakouts and you don't have a prebiotic, get on that. Absolutely, it helps a ton. There's so many out there. I invite you to figure that out. I can't tell you which one's the best, but Activia works for Juliet.
It does.
I can't do dairy, so I don't do yogurt. I just have a powder I drink. But
I'm a dairy girl. I'm a dairy queen.
I love dairy, but I have to save it for cheese. I feel like I'm just like adjusting my dress. I have to save it for cheese if I'm going to have it, because I can only have it like once a day. I should have it less than that. It definitely makes me break out. Okay, so let's talk about Halloween.
I'm going to do a lot of listening this episode, so I will be cozied up with you, sweet listener. And Sadie's going to show us the way.
Okay, so Halloween and Samhain, which is spelt, it looks like Samhain. So if you're like, what's Samhain? I've never heard of that before. If you're like me, maybe you had only read it for a long time. I think it's funny, like you can tell kids that grew up reading so much and were kind of quiet, like they say certain words really funny because they only ever read them. Someone pointed that out to me recently. So this is the history of Samhain. So Samhain is a pagan religious festival. It originates from ancient Celtic spiritual tradition. So in modern times, it's usually celebrated from October 31st at sundown to November 1st. And there's there's multiple reasons we celebrate this. It's to welcome in the harvest, to usher in the dark half of the year, and to celebrate our loved ones, our ancestors, those who have passed on. And so it's believed that the barriers between the physical world and the spiritual world are like thinning during this time, allowing more interaction. So you've heard like the veil is thinning. One thing I want to say about that is that pay attention to the word veil. The veil is always thin. Veils are thin. You can communicate with your loved ones at any time. You can communicate with the spirit world at any time, but you may notice, if anything, that maybe you just need to up your boundaries during this time, because I think it does thin, but it's a veil. So you can always reach through it and connect. So Samhain is really used as a time to honor and remember our loved ones in spirit, celebrate the abundance that we've had in this past season, get ready for the darker half of the year going into winter. So it's really a celebration. Even though it's, it can be sad to think about our loved ones in spirit who have passed on. It's sort of a way to circle back every year and celebrate their life, because of course we have funerals where we're grieving. It's still a celebration of life. And this is like such a wonderful way to like revisit the people that we loved who are not with us anymore, and say like, we remember you and we honor you, and share stories about them. And I think this is really cool. So many cultures around the world celebrate their dead with a special day. So we have Dia de los Muertos and All Souls Day. So Dia de los Muertos is a Mexican tradition. All Souls Day is like the way the Christians took Samhain and were like, you can still have this holiday, but come be Christians. So those ones are celebrated around the same time. And then a couple other ones that I thought were interesting that are celebrated at different times of the year is the Obon or Bon Festival, and that's a Japanese celebration of those who've died in the previous year. And then the Qingming Festival is also at a different time in the year, but it's a time where they take time to like go clean the graves of their loved ones and remember them. So it's very human for us to want to have a day to revisit the ones that have passed on. And I just think that's so special and sweet, because we can have sort of this like darkness or fear attached to death, and it's like really hard when we lose someone. It's so hard, but to have a day where it's like we're here to celebrate and remember and connect, I think that's so sweet that all like every culture has their version, you know. So tradition holds sorry, I didn't organize these notes great, but it's marks the start of the coldest half of the year, which is also why I'm doing a panchakarma at this time. And so witches also sometimes consider it the witches' new year, so it's like a celebration of a new year. So this is like a new beginning for us if you want to take that on, right? So it's like we just had this new moon, Samhain is here. It's like new beginnings. It's a very sacred, very special time. I'm definitely feeling the energy around that. So Halloween and Samhain are not the same thing. I don't know, like I'm curious to hear what you think, but I feel like Halloween is like a casual vibe, and then Samhain is like the sacred vibe, right? It's like a little bit more serious and more intention behind it.
That's sort of how I always interpreted it.
Yeah, I think Samhain is more similar to like Dia de los Muertos than Halloween. But I learned a couple fun Halloween traditions that are rooted in Samhain.
Oh, okay. I'd love to know.
Okay, so the tradition of pumpkin carving, that comes from Samhain. So it began with carving sigils and protective symbols into pumpkins or turnips if pumpkins were unavailable in the region. And this is from the Celtic, which way do you say? Celtic tradition. And this is to ward off any evil spirits that may have been lurking in the shadows, because remember we're like, oh, the veil is very thin. It's believed that spirits can cross over in this time. So there's a lot of tradition around like dodging the evil spirits and only connecting to your loved ones. So the pumpkin carving would be to create protective symbols. And it was also thought that by dressing up in costume and building a bonfire, one would scare away evil spirits. So you were like dressing in a costume so they didn't know it was you, that they would think you were like one of them.
Gotcha. You would never know it was me under here.
And then during Samhain, it was also customary to hand out treats in exchange for prayers and blessings for loved ones who had passed. So you might come to my house and be like, hey, I'm offering a prayer and a blessing for your mom. And I'd be like, here's a treat, Juliet. How sweet is that?
I love that.
And then, so that's one thing they think that trick-or-treating came from. And it's also said trick-or-treating would be derived from ancient Irish and Scottish practices in the nights leading up to Samhain. Mumming was the practice of putting on costumes, going door to door, and singing songs to the dead. Cakes were given as payment.
You know what's amazing? When we take a moment, and I'm just talking about trick-or-treating and Halloween in general, to like really look at it.
Right.
And the fact that society at large accepts this and goes with this. Like, so everybody, just so you know, on October 31st, most people are going to dress up in a costume, probably like a scary costume. Strangers you don't know are going to come to your door all night with a pillowcase.
Right.
They're going to say, trick or treat, and you're going to give them things.
Right.
And we all say, okay. I mean, not everybody. Some people.
It's incredible.
Lock the gate. But it's like, of all the things that we do, this may be the cutest.
That's why I love it so much. I mean, every holiday warms my heart. Like we talked about recently, like the way everyone decorates their house for Christmas makes me cry, because I'm like, you're doing that for us, you know, like you're doing it for the neighborhood that you live in and yourself. But yeah, Halloween, it's so fucking cute that we're all like, ooh, like let's all be scared for like a month and and let's dress in costumes and let's give each other candy, and like it's just the cutest shit I've ever heard. I love it.
It really is precious. I'm sure that the aliens and the extraterrestrials looked
like,
out and go,
"They're at it
let's
again."
go look at them on Halloween. Their little Halloween thing that they do is just adorable, because it is.
Look, that one's dressed as us.
Oh.
So yeah, they would come and sing songs to the dead. Cakes were given as payment. And then, okay, so the trick part. So the veil is thinning. They're worried about spirits crossing over. And we know that fairies are known to be mischievous. So they think that the connection between the like trick or treat is that fairies would come in and play tricks because the veil was thin and they could cross over to like our world and play tricks. So that's where that comes from. They believe, this article at least. And but before we keep going, I used history.com and gaia.com.
Gaia, you want a free 7-day subscription?
Link in our show notes. Let's see.
Watch
where
all
was
the
I?
animal psychic ones. I love those.
Yeah, there's really fun interviews with witches and with psychics. We love, what's his name, George.
I can picture him with the mustache.
Yeah, he's a terrible interviewer, but
an amazing man.
He's incredible. Like, I mean it in the best way. Like, he asks the funniest questions. Like, we've already covered this, but was it cold there when someone said they went to Antarctica? And he was like, yeah. He's you know what? He's not he's thorough.
He's curious.
And when I was watching, he was interviewing a witch and he was like, she kept saying, she's saying all this wonderful stuff that very aligned with what we say about like the magic and empowering yourself. And he's like, so you wouldn't say it's evil then? And she was like, no.
That's like when we had highest good readings on the show, and I was just so, I don't know, she just made me starstruck for some reason, and I said, so do you do spells? And I was like, what kind of question? So
You've been there, George.
I get it, George.
It's a lot of pressure.
It is.
But I truly, from the bottom of my heart, find it so sweet and entertaining, and I think he's just the best. I love watching his interviews. Okay. So now let's talk about celebrating.
Celebrate.
It
will be all right.
So these are a couple things that are traditional, but of course with like every witchy holiday, it's just like everyone has their own like Christmas traditions. Everyone has their own Halloween traditions. Everyone's got their own Thanksgiving, Hanukkah, all of them. You can make your own Samhain traditions, but here's some ideas to get you started. So one typical or traditional celebration would to be to prepare a dinner to celebrate the harvest, and then to also make places for your loved ones in spirit. So making setting a plate and a glass and silverware and a chair, and it's set aside. That is where your loved one in spirit is sitting with you. So you do the whole thing. Sweet. And so you set a place for them. You serve every part of the meal to them. You fill their cup with the wine or the mead or whatever it is. Mead. That's because it's in here. I don't drink mead. I don't even know what that is really. So yeah, that's one way. And I love, it's very similar to the tradition of creating the like meals and putting them on the altar for a Dia de los Muertos. So it's like there's so much. I love that all of these cultures are just like coming up with their similar traditions. It's so cool. And let's see. So, and then you could invite your friends and family to enjoy the feast with you. And so I've heard of a couple different things with these meals. For some people, they like to stay quiet the whole meal and just be in like reflection. So it's like, it was called a dumb supper, but I think everyone's moving away from that term.
I don't like that.
But that's what you'll see when you read articles about it. That's what I'm referring to just be silent. You could call it a silent supper. But that you stay quiet the whole meal, or alternatively, you would really just talk about the loved ones and your memories and what they were like and your, I don't know, favorite moments and things like that. So you could do both. I think it's kind of cool to try to do like a silent dinner and sort of just like be almost like really feeling their energy there, connecting to them. And then like maybe like when it's like time for like dessert and drinks, it's like, oh, then we all talk. And like, I think it's really cool. I wish I kind of want to go home for Halloween now and do this with my family.
Home for the Halloween.
Like, Dad, brothers, we're celebrating Samhain. I'll wear this outfit.
Oh, there's no place like
home for Samhain.
Samhain. We'll practice that one.
We're working on it.
Go enjoy our dance video.
And then it's also fun. You can create an altar dedicated to your loved ones in spirit. You could use photos, family heirlooms, and then offerings like their favorite foods, their favorite meals. When I make so my mom's birthday is actually November 4th, which is, obviously very close to this. So I always do a little altar just for her. And I'll get like, she didn't eat a lot. She was so healthy and like barely ate junk food, but she loved dark chocolate. So I'll get like her favorite like dark chocolate and put that on there and pour a little wine and get out all of, I wear my ring from her, and I have earrings that I wear from her, but any other little jewelry pieces, I get all those out and have her picture out. And it's really fun, and it's really special to just sort of like collect what you have from your family and put them in one place. There's something about that just, I don't know, it feels really good to just go, wow, I still have such a strong connection to what might feel really far away.
I remember last year, because I have a photo of my grandpa and a photo of my grandma on the other side. There was a grandpa who also, I don't have a photo of him, I'm sorry. We weren't as close. But I leave a little Halloween candy by their pictures around this time of year.
Yeah. And then you can also put things on the altar like pumpkins or apples or, things that would sort of be representative of like that harvest energy, the abundance, moving into a new season. So it's very fun. I usually just set mine up for like a day and have it there and meditate with it, because it ends up being on my coffee table because my house is so full of decorations. I don't have a place that I can just leave for a week. But creating an altar is really special practice. And then this can be a really special time, whether you do this on Halloween night or, November 1st is a great day too. Practicing divination or taking meditative time to connect with your loved ones in spirit. Maybe it's loved ones in spirit that you were really close to. You could try to connect with ancestors that maybe you never met but know about and have heard about. It's really like what you feel called to do. And if you're like, oh, I don't really feel like I connect in meditation that way, another really powerful thing you could do is like write a letter to them and, say, this is what's going on in my life. This is what I've learned about you, or this is my favorite memory with you. And just like talk to them while like they're there, especially if it's someone that was close to you and you really, still have that grief in your heart. I love writing letters to my mom. I see her in meditation. I feel her presence, but there's something about like writing a letter to her as though I get to hand it to her. Feels really good. And just like talk to them out loud, send your blessings, practice, tell them what you're grateful for. Make it like, it's meant to be very like, oh, the veil is thin, so they're able to like be here and be present with me, and it's like we're really hanging out. That's the vibe. However you want to make that work for you.
I really love every time we dive into witchy traditions and rituals. They just make me feel so happy, because I know a lot of our listeners have perhaps moved on from a religion they grew up with, and some are still in the religion you can be both, and like there's no right or wrong way to do any of this. But I think what's beautiful about religion, as a concept, is that there are rituals and there are ways to make meaning of things, and there are moments in time where we acknowledge and pause and celebrate and punctuate things. And I know for me, like I've missed a lot of that, and that witchcraft sort of allows me to come back home to that. And I imagine some of you listening feel that way too. So it's just beautiful. It's just always, thank you for sharing all that.
Yeah, I loved, digging a little bit more. I liked learning about, I didn't know that about like carving pumpkins or trick-or-treating. Thought that was fun. I was like, oh, next year when I carve a pumpkin, maybe I'll make a sigil to do one. Or, I have an extra pumpkin I bought. I didn't carve it yet.
It's not too late.
It's not too late. I'll be home alone on Halloween weekend because I'm detoxing and Craig's gone. So I'll just sadly carve my pumpkin all by myself.
Sit on the toilet and carve your pumpkin.
Flushing the pumpkin guts down with everything else. No, sorry, too far. Yeah. I love that. I would love to hear from our listeners if you have any fun Halloween traditions. If you're on YouTube, you can comment them, or if you're in our Discord, we can chat about it. If you have any fun Halloween traditions, do you have anything in your family you would do specifically?
Well, one thing
Did we talk about this already? Maybe we did.
The one thing I thought of that isn't family, it's like Jewish related, and I'm talking a lot about Judaism today because I'm not going to get into it all, but if you are Jewish and you are in our audience, this is a safe place for you, and I'm so sorry with everything that's going on. I'm feeling very scared too, and we have beautiful religion, and we're such a small, I think what always blows my mind is, because I grew up in Los Angeles, I thought that 50% of people in the whole world were Jewish. I thought everyone was Catholic, so. Right? And then you find out it's like less than 1% of the whole world. And it's like, really? To hate us so much? But there's this beautiful thing that when you go to like a Shabbat service, like every Friday there's a service, the times that I've gone, one portion, and I'm pretty sure this happens every single week, is they basically ask, like, if you've lost a loved one in the past year, you can stand up and then you can say their name out loud. And because you're in a mourning state, just officially, I mean, you can be mourning forever, but you're in an official mourning state for 1 year. And I've gone and you stand and everybody just at their own moment, like, says a name, and then there's like a little prayer, and then you sit down and you move forward. And I have chills. I love that. Just more, and then back to the cemetery. It's like, loss is hard, and we have to come up with ways to honor those people and honor our feelings. And, anyways, I'm drifting, but that's something that I was thinking about as you were sharing these traditions. As far as growing up, I think I shared my dad wears the same wizard costume every year, loves passing out candy, and I don't think we did it. I think he shut it all down in 2020 and maybe last year too, just with the COVID and everything. But I hope he's ready to bring back the Halloween magic and pass out candy this year. We didn't really have traditions. I just always love dressing up and going out and having a really good time. I really do. I will say I love roaming Hollywood around Halloween time just because it's wild over there. Yeah. That's really fun for me. What about you? Yeah. I mean, I think we went trick-or-treating every single year. Us too. And my parents weren't like, they didn't get, I have that one picture of my mom and dad in their vampire costumes with me as a little baby, but they didn't dress up in like really, dramatic costumes growing up or anything, but they were all about it for us. We were obsessed with it. And I do have a memory that for my 16th birthday, my gift was to get to go to New York City, but the trip didn't happen until October. And we didn't mean for it to fall over Halloween or anything, but it was like the weekend that was closest to Halloween. And I specifically remember we were there for my friend Hannah came along. Oh my God, is it her birthday today? It's her birthday today, October 26th. Yes. Only because you said this before. Good kisser, Hannah. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Hannah. I gotta send her a text and maybe like a little kissy emoji. Just be like, we don't hang out anymore. She's like, that never happened. Like that Friends episode what's her name? It's not what is her name? I could picture her face.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
On Who's the Boss? She was beautiful. Oh my God. Alyssa Milano.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, Rachel, I don't know what you're talking about. And then at the end, she's like, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah. I remember that. But that's why I remember. I'm like, it wasn't Halloween, but it was like the weekend closest. And anyway, so we're walking around. It was like we were by Times Square. I'm like, what's it called? I was gonna say Hollywood sign. Times Square, and there's just all these people walking past us to different Halloween parties and the craziest costumes. And we were just like, oh, this is so cool. It was so fun because people like really go all out, but we were teens from a small town, so we didn't see that level of commitment to costumes. Maybe that was when I started loving Halloween so much. Who knows? I have a very, very specific memory of a woman wearing, I think she was supposed to be a mummy, but she barely used stuff to cover up. And I was like, wow.
One day
that's a good costume.
I will be you.
I was like, that costume is incredible.
I will be this weekend while you are cleansing. I will.
Yeah, what are you doing?
I will not be cleansing.
Are you partying? What's up?
I am. Saturday night, I will be. So my favorite bar in the whole city is in downtown LA. It's called Clifton's. And maybe I've mentioned it before, but oh my gosh, it's like 3 or 4 stories tall. This building has been there maybe almost 100 years, and they have these different levels, and there's a giant tree in the middle, and there's one room where there's a live band and swing dancing, and one room where there's a DJ, and one room that's a hidden tiki bar, and there's hula dancers. I mean, it's like the Disneyland of
I've still never gone. We gotta go.
So it's been closed for 2 years. I think it opened partially this past 6 months, and we've just been waiting, and finally they were selling tickets for a Halloween Saturday night thing, and Victor was like, we're going. So yay. I will be dancing the night away, and I'm so excited. I like need it so bad.
I know, I really want to go out, but
we'll do belated Halloween. We'll just wear these outfits and go out, and we'll be the talk of the town on November 5th. It's not over.
We're still going strong. So fun.
Yeah, those are the plans. And then our producer, my dad, Greg Piper, his birthday is on Sunday. So happy birthday, Dad.
Gosh, happy birthday.
I love you. You are my inspiration.
Thank you for everything you do for the podcast.
Thank you for making this possible. And I think it's going to be a little bit shorter of an episode today so that you can all go and enjoy your Halloween and have a fun time. And even if you're just staying in, like put on a movie and light a candle and make it special. You know, you deserve it. And if you want to spend the month of November hanging out with us, we have a really amazing coven. You get access to a private Discord community, and you get to, we've been sort of tweaking to figure out how do we give the most where you also get the most, and everything feels like really, really good. So we been trying a couple things, but what we have had a vote on and also decided is you can join our coven and you get 2 live calls a month with us. Because we had 1 call before and it was like, no, let's do 2.
Yeah, so we decided we wanted to meet for the new and full moon so that we can connect, do a meditation and like a simple spell together, talk about the moon's energy. So we're very excited to make this small little shift. And we just realized like live calls are what we had our live call last week, actually, right? That was last week.
The masterclass? Oh, that was so amazing.
We didn't talk about that. We had our free masterclass.
Oh, thank you for coming.
Oh my gosh. The energy in there was like so fired up. It was so fun. And it actually, the mentors mentored themselves. We got crystal clear clarity about how we want to do things a little differently. And we felt so lit up and so excited after that class. We had so much fun with you, but we were like, oh, like, going on these live calls and like being in your energy in this way, it's just the thing that gives gives us back the most. Like, we just have so much fun. So we decided to do 2 calls for the coven now, which is very exciting.
It is really exciting. And we have other things we're sort of dreaming up as well, but the coven is like, come on in. It's a really amazing space. There's so many fun channels, from spells to share your outfit to share your pet. You'll meet a lot of really amazing people, a lot of like-minded witchy babes, just like you.
Yes.
And we're just really grateful that you enjoy our show and you come back and listen every week. Please leave a review, tell a friend. If you decide to leave a review, you can screenshot it before you press submit on Apple Reviews. You can email that review to goddesshangs@gmail.com and we'll send you an exclusive free 10-minute meditation.
Yes.
You can enjoy with our voices. It's a special Goddess Hangs meditation.
And don't forget, we hang out every week on IG Live on Tuesdays at 3 p.m. to do free mini psychic oracle readings. And we're going to be beginning to also do TikTok as well. So for our TikTokers, we decided on the official time. Can we announce it?
Wednesdays at
6, right?
Let's do 6 o'clock.
Yeah. So Instagram, Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Pacific. But if you're like, oh, I never am available at that time, which I've gotten DMs about this, and this is exciting news because now you also have the option for every Wednesday at 6 p.m. on TikTok. So make sure you're following us there. Make sure you set alarms. We have actually never gone on live on TikTok. So
I know.
We have to figure out how it works to like get people in a queue to do readings and things like that. So if you join us this week for the first one, we're going to be learning. We're very excited to connect with you even more there. And oh my gosh, we're just so grateful for you. This whole month of October has been so fun. We hope you enjoyed the special programming connected to Halloween. I know we had a lot of fun creating it.
We'll get back to the magic, mindset, and manifestation next week. Back to our regularly scheduled programming. Thanks for spending a really fun Halloween with us. And what's our little outro? Follow us here.
Oh yeah. I'm like trying to remember everything. My brain fog from my detox is setting in. Follow us on Instagram and TikTok at Goddess Hangs. I am Sadie Olson on Instagram.
I'm at Juliet.Piper, and we will see you next week.
See you next week. Bye, Goddess.